2019, Michael Cohen, the disgraced former personal attorney for Donald Trump, testified before the House Oversight Committee. The Washington Post published a bombshell article writing that during the Michael Cohen hearing, Congresswoman Plaskett was texting with Jeffrey Epstein. At 10:41 Eastern Time, Epstein texted Plaskett and asked, "Are you chewing?" The Congresswoman responded, "Not anymore." Epstein replied with a smiley face, and Plaskett explained, "Chewing interior of my mouth, bad habit from middle school." Epstein replied, "Sweet. Gee, I was told that being friends or having any kind of connection."
I mean, I'm be real with you. That's kind of a bit like a little too close. Like what you chewing? I mean, it kind of sounds like y'all are like more than just friends. I don't know.
Yeah, like y'all.
Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that don't sound like the way you just text a female friend. I'm just saying.
Instead of your mouth, baby girl.
It's like, oh, that little chewing habit, you might want to bring that over. Like, all right. Let's not go too far into this joke. But y'all kind of get my point, though. It does seem a bit flirtatious.
But Jeffrey Epstein was bad. Later during the hearing, Michael Cohen would say the following.
Well, again, when he called, Rona Graff yelled out to Mr. Trump, "Roger's on line 1," which was regular practice.
And that's his assistant.
That's his, yes.
Right.
So Epstein texted Plaskett and says, "Cohen brought up Rona, keeper of the secrets." Plaskett responded, "Rona?" and says, "Quick, I'm up next. Is that an acronym?" Epstein replied, "That's his assistant, Rona. She called out Roger on line 1, corroborator." And watch how Plaskett doesn't refer to Rona Graff by her last name. She calls her Miss Rona because she wasn't actually paying attention to Michael Cohen's testimony.
Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms. Rona. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump organization?
They
and
are.
Are there other people that we should be meeting with?
So Alan Weisselberg is the chief financial officer.
You got to quickly give us as many names as you can so we can get to them.
Yes, ma'am.
As Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's position?
Rona Graff is the Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his.
So Stacey Plaskett, a sitting congresswoman, was texting back and forth with Jeffrey Epstein. And this is not allegedly, because a statement from Plaskett's office admits as such. During the hearing, Congresswoman Plaskett received texts from staff, constituents, and the public at large offering advice, support, and in some cases, partisan vitriol, including from Epstein. Here's a dumb question. Why did Jeffrey Epstein have Stacey Plaskett's cell number? Well, I'm sure there's a good explanation, right? As a former prosecutor, she welcomes information that helps her get at the truth and took on the GOP that was trying to bury the truth. Oh, I see. Plaskett needed Epstein's help to take down Trump and the GOP. The Congresswoman has previously made clear her long record combating SA and human trafficking, her disgust with Epstein's deviant behavior, and her support for his victims. Oh, sure.
Huh?
You can see Plaskett.
But she was talking to this man. I mean, like, all right, she's trying to frame it as if she was using, she was using him as a source of intel. But I don't know. Can we truly believe that? Because I ain't gonna lie, the way those text messages were seeming sound like I might have been a little close. And well, I mean, Jeffrey Epstein is a piece of shit all the way through, but he was also known as a ladies' man as well. So
I mean, it kind of sounds like he was sliding into her DMs saying, "Hey, baby, what that mouth do?"
Well, that's it for her because she's an adult and he likes them young.
I mean, it's just kind of weird though. Just even the way the opening sound up, like what you're chewing. It's like, wait, what? And then you're watching her that close on TV, like you were her fan or something. Or maybe he just had a lot invested in this hearing, on the less scandalous side of it.
He took a fucking balls to the wall risk texting somebody on live television to ask that dumbass question. Bro, I'm sorry to get so vulgar. She had to have gotten her cheeks clapped by him at one point because there's no fucking way.
Okay. Well,
Emotional damage.
well, Lord knows that's what she got right now. But yeah, the way that text message was like, the way the text messages were seeming was a bit too friendly. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it came out that they were dating at a certain point, or Epstein was possibly using her. But yes, the fact that she was texting this man during a hearing, like even him going along to coach her. I mean, let's be real, bro. Women ain't letting you coach them unless you're doing something good for them. But all right.
Gets disgust for Epstein in their texts. Epstein texted, "Great outfit. You look great." To which Plaskett replied, "Thanks," with an exclamation point. According to a 2003 investigation by Jacob Samsian for Business Insider, at some point in fall 2018, Plaskett visited Epstein at his Manhattan mansion. He agreed to give the full $30,000 that Plaskett had asked him to contribute to the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. The DCCC ended up rejecting the donation. So it seems that her disgust was very limited, if not completely non-existent. In a May 2023 deposition, in the Virginia Island government's lawsuit against JP Morgan Chase, Plaskett said, "To the best of my recollection, I recall that I was informed by my chief of staff that the DCCC informed him that Mr. Epstein's contribution would not be accepted by the DCCC." Plaskett was asked, "Okay, did you do anything to try and find out why the DCCC had rejected Mr. Epstein's donation?" Plaskett's answer, "I don't recall if it was already expressed to me in his letting me know that it was denied or if I got additional information. I don't recall." Plaskett was then asked, "Did you assume that it was related to his status as a sex offender?" To which Plaskett replied, "I was not sure of the totality of the circumstances."
Bro, what do you mean you don't know?
Oh, that
She didn't
money,
know the total. So yeah, I kind of knew about the case, but I didn't know all the details about it. I didn't know how serious it was.
that dick gotta be fucking out of this world for you to be lying as a congresswoman.
Bro.
Gotta
And,
be going crazy.
and they held a vote to censor this woman, and all the Democrats voted not to censor her. I mean, what can I say? It's like you can damn do anything as a Democrat. You can even have conversations with Epstein during a hearing, and it's all good. All good.
Record behind you.
I mean, do you think that Diddy and Epstein were friends or competitors at this point?
Competitors.
Friends.
I think they worked in different industries. Like, yeah, one like P. Diddy was the Epstein of the music industry, and of course, Epstein is the Epstein of, I guess, the financial guys, the hedge fund managers. So the finance, human trafficking versus the music industry human trafficking.
Both of them are some sick ass bastards.
Yeah, except Diddy, though, he got away with it in a way because they were supposed to bring up some witnesses that would pretty much make it for sure that he was trafficking, but they left those witnesses out for some reason because they're high ranking, or they're just high up there, studio executives like Lucien Grain.
Oh, I'm sorry. You mean they got intimidated?
Yeah, that's actually the best way to put it.
Or bought out?
That's the most likely scenario.
She's
Put it in context. Congresswoman Plaskett was required to raise $250,000 in dues going to the DCCC, and that 30 grand would have gone a long way. And Plaskett wants you to believe that she didn't ask why a huge chunk of that fundraising was refused. That is, unless she knew beforehand and didn't need to ask why. So I would like to reiterate that Plaskett's visit to the mansion and her learning that Epstein's donation was refused both occurred in 2018. And in 2019...
No, hold on now. Please tell me I heard that wrong. She went to the crib? No, I heard that wrong.
Need that.
Hold on, bro. Hopefully I heard this wrong. And don't tell me she was at the crib too, bro.
Oh, she was at that crib, bro. She was trying to secure that donation, bro. One way or another.
So the flirtatious texting and you've been to this man's crib, and he tried to send you 30,000 through your little political pack or however, whatever that was, and we're gonna sit here and pretend like you weren't involved.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So I'm thinking
I'd
when she-
honestly like to hear it again because I thought I heard it wrong the first time.
Yeah, like let's hear it one more time.
Was refused. That is, unless she knew beforehand and didn't need to ask why. So I would like to reiterate that Plaskett's visit to the mansion and her learning that Epstein's donation was refused both occurred in 2018.
Visit to the mansion. So,
Mhm.
damn.
Yeah.
She went to the mansion.
She got them cheeks blew out.
She's cooked. She's cooked. It's over. It's over. Like that should have been a court date. That should have been an indictment. But nothing.
But she's not. And this goes back to my theory about who you are in government and whether or not they have to use coercion or they have to scare you with a catastrophe. And unfortunately, it sounds like just kind of based off everything she's doing, she's being controlled, not really catastrophized.
Sorry, man, we interrupted you a little bit earlier.
so what I was saying was when she said that could you actually bring up the exact thing that she said in the text messages again?
Oh yeah, I got you. Let's see here. I believe it was going all the way back, spanning about. Let's see. To the wait, are you talking about to the best of my recollection? I recall that I was informed by my chief of staff that the DCCC informed him that Mr. Epstein's contribution would not be accepted. Question: Did? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
The part where she was actually texting with Epstein.
Oh, that's all the way back in the video. Okay, I got you. Here it is. Now it's a bit cut up. If to find the full text chat, I'd probably have to. If you want the straight one, I can most likely find it. But here it is.
Texting to Plaskett and asked, "Are you chewing?" The congresswoman responded, "Not anymore." Epstein replied,
This is all in 2019, so this is after he's been convicted as a pedophile.
With a smiley face, and Plaskett explained, "Chewing interior of my mouth. Bad habit from middle school." Epstein replied, "Sweet. Gee, I was told."
You know what's crazy? She replied with a smiley face. Man.
Yeah.
Habit from middle school.
I mean, chewing the interior of her mouth really does kind of sound like she really just has some tick from when she was a kid.
Oh, yeah, of course. But to get that, like, I don't know, personal with somebody, like chewing the interior of my mouth, bad habit from middle school is like, come on now. You just don't say something that like about yourself like that unless, I don't know, you're really in deep with somebody.
And I'd rather suggest the idea that instead of Epstein clapping her, then that he got her some whatever flavor she wanted.
Oh, I mean, well, yeah, that could be true too. I mean, she could be gay and she could also mess with little girls, or Epstein could have possibly brought in the male models like he was P. Diddy or something, and that could also go down as well. Like, you're right.
I mean, and something else I noticed, P. Diddy's case ended, and the next day they started talking about Epstein. That's when they said, we're not going to release the files. Why?
Oh yeah, that's the next one.
Why was it the day after the Diddy case? Like, they're like, oh, he's not going to talk, so we can just say there's nothing?
It's a damn, my opinion.
But let's hear the defense, because yes, they defended her. Yep, viral moment. Raskin defends Plaskett's texting Epstein, taking a phone call from her constituent. Taking a phone call from her constituent is how y'all about to frame this?
They felt rapist wrong.
I guess anything to make it make sense. It's almost frustrating that they're even trying it, but let's hear it out. Let's hear it out.
We're here today on the floor to support the complete disclosure of information related to Jeffrey Epstein and his billion-dollar international child sex trafficking ring. And our side of the aisle at least supports the release of information relating to anybody who had anything to do with it, whether they're a Republican, a Democrat, an independent, or what have you, period. We insist on complete, full disclosure. This resolution has nothing to do with that. This seems to me to be one more pathetic effort to distract and divert attention from the fact that the president's name appeared more than 1,000 times already in the small fraction of material released on Epstein, and from the failure of the majority to move to disclose this information. And it is this bipartisan group that we've had behind the discharge resolution, which has insisted on bringing this to the fore, and we've got nothing but obstruction, opposition, resistance, evasion, distraction, and diversion from the other side. And now we get one more resolution like this.
I mean, shoot, what do you think y'all were doing for 4 years straight? Like, shit, I mean, hold on. So what, you get evasion from the Republicans for 3 months and y'all want to equate that out to the 4 years of evasion y'all been doing? How about y'all just let bygones be bygones and be like, look, man, we both were trying to hold this back for a while. The Republicans are trying to protect themselves. We're trying to protect ourselves. Let's just release it and let's get all these bad apples out of here.
Resolution actually proposed
because they're not honest.
Yeah, they're not really trying to be honest about it at all, but
it's a whole
it is
big
what it is
to them. They don't want us to know the truth. They don't want the people to know the truth. So when the camera is turned on, they're going to say what they want the camera to hear, whether it matches the conversation at all or not. And then they'll just cut the person out and mix match the tape like they did with Trump. The BBC did with Trump.
But here's the petty debate that's going on right now. Who was holding back the Epstein files more?
I mean, they just want to play the blame game. Like, it's literally the people who I'm betting the loudest voices are actually the people that are on the list, and they're saying, "Oh, this person, this person, this person that I really want to take out on the other side." Those are the people that are on the list, and same thing from the other side.
Yeah,
like
totally, I agree. And
it's always the loudest voices in the crime that committed the crime.
And they always have their social media post that goes viral right after.
All right.
A disciplinary censure against Representative Stacey Plaskett, but amazingly alleges no misconduct. It does not allege the violation of the Constitution.
Hey, shout out Tove. She says, what congressperson takes constituent calls or texts on their personal cell phone during a congressional hearing? Have y'all heard of anyone else? Nope, not one actually. I mean, I'm trying to search like the darkest centers of my memory right now and be like, has anybody ever did this?
Yeah, I mean, didn't we see all on when Trump gave his first address to the nation, his second time around, or was it the first time they wore all white?
Wait, like when somebody was actually caught receiving a text message or talking to their constituents?
And I guess that's also the national address. It's totally different.
All right, yeah, because like I said, I mean, Tove got a pretty good point. I don't know not one congressperson that's taking a calls or text from their personal cell phone. I mean, not business email or anything, but their personal cell phone during a congressional hearing. I mean, I don't know. That doesn't just sound like your regular constituent. I mean, that sounds like somebody you're like really tied in with. I mean, somebody that's helping your campaign. I don't know, helping you run, significant other. You never know.
I'm sorry, but don't they have like work phones that they're supposed to use and like work laptops they're also supposed to use?
I know
like
in intelligence they're supposed to, but I'm not sure about the congressman.
Well, if it's classified or top secret information, they have to use what's called a SCIF, and it's basically a closed loop. There's no Wi-Fi going in or out. Nobody can get a camera shot. It's all on like a laptop or a small computer inside of the SCIF.
Or they try to do through Signal, but you see how well that's been working for people.
But we also know of the whole Hillary Clinton email thing where she, I just didn't think it was classified enough or something.
It does not allege the violation of a federal law or a state law or local law. It does not violate, does not even allege a violation of the ethics rules of the House of Representatives, and yet they want to censure her and throw her off of her committee. This, a distinguished former federal prosecutor, diligent public servant, representative of the people of the Virgin Islands. Now, criminal justice has two parts to it. One is insisting upon legal accountability for people who do wrong. The other part of it is due process.
Here's the thing, though. I kind of wish there was like, oh man, I wish you could take this guy into an alternate universe where that lady was a Republican, and would you be making the same defense? That's all I want to know. If she was a Republican, would you sit here and make the same defense? Because I'm almost sure if she was a Republican and the Republicans was protecting her over that, you guys would lose your minds. You guys would literally be losing your minds. Y'all call us pedo protectors and like y'all do now. So I'm sorry, I just can't hear what you're saying, because I'm almost sure that if this was a Republican, you'd be going balls to the walls to get her censored. And then you'd be calling out every Republican saying that they're trying to hide these people that Epstein were involved with. I mean, I'm sorry, bro, but show some consistency, because I guarantee you, if she was a Republican, there would be this argument would not have been made. And I get what he's trying to say. Oh, is it against the law? Like, no. And yeah, but bro, let's talk about ethics here. Like, is that ethically okay?
I actually looked up if Congress members are supposed to use their personal cell phones. It says Congress members are generally not allowed to use personal cell phones during their time on the floor. The House of Representatives has a rule prohibiting the use of personal electronic devices, including cell phones, in the chamber to maintain decorum and order.
I mean, okay then. And there you go. So I guess that she did kind of go outside of regular practice. So like I said, all this defense of her, and like, for what?
What I guess what's the definition of decorum in this situation?
All I know is that I know for a fact that if this was a Republican, there would be nothing that we would say that would satisfy the Dems that we could honestly say for protecting this lady. There'd be nothing we could say. So I kind of want to hear the rest of this man's argument to hear how he kind of rounds this out, because it is kind of funny how people will call us pedo protectors, but I'm just like, this lady was literally contacting a pedophile after he was convicted of being a pedophile in 2019, talking to this guy. And I'm talking to the Dems in the chat. You guys see nothing wrong with this? Nothing at all. All right, then don't ever talk about us in y'all life. Don't ever mention Donald Trump being a pedo in your life, because you really don't care. You don't care. If it's not Trump, you don't care. And this just proves it.
May be the two most beautiful words in the English language, certainly the two most beautiful words in the Constitution of the United States. It's due process that protects all of our freedoms and our rights against the arbitrary power of government and the will just to punish somebody without any process at all. But that's exactly what's going on here. Think about it. Ghislaine Maxwell had due process. She had a right to counsel. She had a right to hearing. She had a right to hear the evidence against her. She had a right to put on her case. She had a right to cross-examine. She had a right to a neutral, impartial tribunal. She had a right to unanimous verdict of a jury, and all of that she had, and she was found guilty. And that's why she was sentenced to jail for 20 years, even though Donald Trump has transferred her from a real prison to a prison camp where she's gotten very special pampered treatment, like she's in a Trump hotel. She gets room service to her cell. She gets gym privileges other inmates don't.
Whataboutism. Okay, so that's what we're going with. It's the whataboutism. It's like, oh, ignore her. What about Ghislaine Maxwell, who's getting this good treatment in jail? Bro, We're talking about the fact that the person that Ghislaine Maxwell was working with, Jeffrey Epstein, was texting that lady during the congressional hearing. So your whataboutism doesn't really stand up because Ghislaine's in jail. She's in jail where she's supposed to be. Like, if she's living in comfort, is irrelevant. But what is relevant right now is the fact that we're also concerned about Jeffrey Epstein, but y'all don't seem to be too concerned that Jeffrey Epstein was texting one of y'all alone during a congressional hearing, and that's concerning. Because like I said, let it be us. If she was a Republican, I would ask for her to be censored. I would ask for her to step down over that if she cannot provide a damn good reason on why she was doing that. But hey, I guess that's what was so different between the Republican and Democrats. It seemed like we actually hold our side accountable. Like I said, we made a guy step down over saying Indians stink. Y'all can't make a guy step down over wishing death on children.
She gets to use the warden as a go-between with people outside of the institution and so on. But in any event, she had due process. Donald Trump had due process. He was convicted on 34 felonies, but he had the right to counsel. He had the presumption of innocence. He had a unanimous jury trial, right? They had a right to cross-examine everybody, put their own witnesses on. Now, they want to take a former United States prosecutor, the representative of the people of the Virgin Islands, and without even going to the ethics committee, much less a court, they want to arraign her on some charges based on a newspaper article that she did something lawful. However ill-advised it may have been, she took a phone call from one of her constituents. Now, I don't think it is the position of the very distinguished gentleman.
Yeah, but let's be real. They weren't talking about what you would usually talk about with your congresswoman. I mean, talking about what she chewing on during a congressional hearing. Did that sound like the average conversation between a congresswoman and their constituent? Exactly. So the fact that you're even trying to bring in the whataboutism into this, you're even trying to make it make sense, is absolutely insane. And I mean, for all you goddams in the chat that are even trying to defend it yourselves, I mean, not to be a dick, but y'all sound stupid right now because y'all know for damn sure if she was a Republican, y'all would not be making these excuses for her.
That if we find Jeffrey Epstein on the phone with Donald Trump, he should be impeached for it, or is that his position? Is his position that anytime Jeffrey Epstein got somebody on the phone and he got a lot of people on the phone, that person is suddenly guilty? That sounds like guilt by association. That sounds like collective guilt. Our minority.
No, because if she was just texting this guy and I don't know, and then let's be real, like, hey, yo, there's something going on in the Virgin Island, this specific part right here. As my congresswoman, I'd like to bring this to your attention. If he was talking to her like that, then okay, cool. But when you're talking to her overly buddy, she then went to the mansion. This man then tried to donate to her political PAC. I mean, what the hell are we supposed to think?
Yeah, like
it's like this is like
daughter. Nobody would care.
Bro, it's like this is like next stage gaslighting that you're trying to pull on us at this point. And I'm talking about the devs in the chat, like my dog Lincoln and all that good stuff. It's like, bro, this is next level gaslighting you're trying to pull off. Lincoln, you know for a fact that this is a Republican, you would be making no excuses right now. You would literally sit there and be like, S.E.T, you should be condemning this guy, not trying to defend him because he's won, or defend her because she went to the house having friendly conversations with her constituent on a congressional hearing while he's telling her what to do during this congressional hearing. If this was a Republican, y'all be losing y'all shit. Can y'all be consistent for once? Like, come on now. And shout out to my man Bobby. He says, problem with the host is for the longest he was calling the Epstein. What? Bro, Bobby, I never called the Epstein files fake. I'm sorry, never did. And you can never find a clip of me ever calling it fake. You got the wrong one, buddy. But yes, for the longest he was calling the Epstein files fake. That's not even Trump called them fake, but Democrats don't care if their own are on the list. Your end is near. Bro, what?
He's not making any sense. Just pass it up. Continue on. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He just I'm trying to read this.
What? Can anybody ever point out when I ever said the Epstein list was fake? Actually, I was one of the guys who got mad when Trump was calling it a hoax, and I was trying to correct the thing. Like, no, the Epstein files is not a hoax. This is all real. Now, Trump's being a pedophile is what the hoax is. I've always made that statement clear, Bobby. So if you haven't heard it, well, you've heard it today. All right, now shout out to my man Big Shit. He says, bro, it is. If it's based off a newspaper article, there needs to be an investigation first.
That's
I mean,
the fake Trump Russia hoax going.
I mean, hey, that's true. All right, look, if it's going off based off a newspaper article, no, this is going off evidence. This is just the evidence of her email, call logs, text logs, whatever. This is all going off evidence, and they're basically, this is the investigation. They looked into it. They looked into her conversation. They said, you know what, looks a little damning. Maybe let's censor her over this. And the Dems defended her, unanimously. Like, they all said no. We don't want to look into this when it comes to her. We don't want to censor her over it. It is what it is. So they're just going to let her get off and keep her position.
Produced a perfectly reasonable.
And she holds a seat on the Intelligence Committee. You know that, right? And who was Jeffrey Epstein? Or what was Jeffrey Epstein alleged to be? An intelligence asset. So, I mean, come on. Am I not allowed to connect these dots?
Amendment to say, let's refer this to an ethics committee. Let's have a real hearing. They didn't want to have a real hearing. They want to rush to judgment. Why? So there can be some headline that will please Donald Trump tomorrow instead of a unanimous statement, or forgive me, I think the distinguished gentleman from Louisiana may have dissented, but an otherwise unanimous verdict of the House of Representatives that the American people want all the files open. We've had enough of the cover up. We want all of the truth. We want the survivors and the victims to have the possibility of accountability. Well, they want to give them another headline, which
No,
is
you don't
that
want the
they've
truth. You want to play the blame game.
Facts. I mean, sure, you go ahead and take it off from there, because that's exactly what it sounds like.
I mean, I'm listening to this guy, and the only thing I can hear is, "What about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? Oh, it's their fault."
And it's so crazy to hear me even try to make this argument when I'm just like, bro, if I sat you down and I told you that a Republican did everything she did right now, this man wouldn't even be trying to make no defense of it. If I sat down any Dem and I read out everything this lady did, and I said, oh no, but she's a Republican, what do you think should happen? They would agree that she should be censored and honestly lose her spot on the Intelligence Committee for talking to a alleged Israeli or CIA asset. So please, tell me how y'all can make this, I don't even know what type of mental gymnastics y'all doing right now to make it make sense.
Member for taking a phone call from her constituent, Jeffrey Epstein, in the middle of a hearing. And of course, I don't think there's any rule here against taking phone calls in a hearing. Now, if you want to actually give her the chance to explain what happened.
She took a phone call from Jeffrey Epstein, a child trafficker, after he's been convicted of a pedophile. And when there's already he's allegedly an Israeli or a CIA asset, or he's most likely an intelligence asset. And guess where she's on? The Intelligence Committee. So yes, there's huge conflicts of interest. There's honestly, this is huge breaking of ethics. Why is this okay? Why is it okay? Oh, yes, because she's a liberal. She's a Dem. So it's all good. I mean, y'all won't ever hold each other accountable.
And then we would take it to the ethics committee. I still don't see what the charge is. Where is the ethical transgression? Where is the legal transgression? Are you saying anybody on your side of the aisle who had a phone call with Jeffrey Epstein should be...
Link, here's the difference. I wouldn't be defending it. Link, I hear your point. You're right. They're being political. But if the Republicans did this, I would not be here defending it. Actually, I would grill any Republican trying to defend it. You're not doing that, bro. You're trying to make it make sense right with them. So I'm being consistent with my argument here. If she was a Republican, not any Republican trying to defend it, I'm gonna talk shit.
Let me go ahead and reread what I read earlier. Congress members are generally not allowed to use personal cell phones during their time on the floor. She used her personal cell phone. That's where your ethics has been crossed. That's where the line has been crossed. her personal cell phone. She should not have had it in the room, let alone on the floor.
And bro, your argument would be like, Link, the argument is, if she was a Republican, since she's if she was a Republican, would you even be trying to make these same excuses? That's all I'm saying. Like, that's really the argument. Because my argument is that you wouldn't be trying to make no excuse. You wouldn't be trying to make this make sense at all. You would sit there and be like, yeah, this is wrong. There's many ways she could have did this. Actually, even talking to him was completely like wrong. Like, why are you over here talking to a pedophile, a convicted one? Like, just off that alone, she should have not even texted the man. But she didn't know how the totality of it. She knew what was going on, but she didn't know how bad it was. Intelligence committee talking to a possible intelligence asset. Oh, and they're also giving each other information on what's going on in this congressional hearing. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, if this was a Republican, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be making no arguments trying to defend it.
And Link, I'd be sure you know what your friends are saying about it first, because oftentimes you don't even know what your own argument is, and other people know your argument more than you do.
All right, shout out Bobby. He says 70% of January 6ers, I guess 70% of January 6 riots have been arrested for crimes against children. 70%. Okay, bro, really, bro. So you're just gonna lie like that? So 70% of the January 6ers, people who rioting January 6th, have been arrested for crimes against children. Fox News calling 15-year-old young women, and this is what MAGA is. 70, bro, where'd you find that? Because the one, I'm pretty sure I don't know, is either you're misinformed or you're egregiously lying. Like, and that's just gotta be the fact of the matter. I actually have the 1,500 people that were arrested for January 6th, the January 6th riot. About 8 of them committed crime. So let's be real, only 8 committed crime out of 1,500. I think that kind of goes to go into my point of that you arrested mostly innocent people, mostly law-abiding citizens. So thank you for playing into that point. But 70% had crimes against children. Yeah, dog, I believe you're extremely misinformed, unless you can provide a source for that. Now, next guy. Well, actually, no. Next lady. Shout out Tove. To anyone defending her, if your neighbor or friend was convicted of crimes against children, would you take calls or be friendly with them still? I mean, exactly. That's also a good point. But hey, apparently to our guy Bob, 70% of 70% of the January 6th rioters have been arrested for crimes against children. Bro, where'd you get that one from? You know what? I'm actually going to see if I can find that one myself. I'm interested.
Careful your answer there, because
Go ahead.
For me personally, responding to Tove, I wouldn't. I have cut off several friends after finding out that they were even thinking of doing stuff to children.
I mean, shoot, as soon as I know you did something like that to children, is like complete cutoff. Actually, I think I might want to take you out the game myself, but that's just me.
There's a lot more that's about to come out, right? So you should think about what is the principle behind this rush to judgment. I want to close just with this thought, because I know there were a lot of people in the chamber who were here when this happened, and a lot who weren't. There was a move to expel George Santos, who was a Republican member of the House from New York. And it was the same kind of rush to judgment, absolute political frenzy. And I looked at it for about 60 seconds. And then, I was a professor of constitutional law, so call me a legal nerd. But I said, wait, this guy's not been convicted of anything. Well, he's a Republican. Yeah, I know he's a Republican. He was not convicted in criminal court. To my knowledge, he had not been arraigned yet or convicted of anything in the ethics disciplinary process. They just said, well, there's bad press. We want to get rid of him. Beware of what you wish for. Is that the rule that you want here in the House of Representatives? That you can just draw up a member of Congress in 24 hours or 48 hours because there's a bad newspaper article without asking any questions, without giving them...
Well, sadly, the newspaper article came with facts, and the facts is that everything that a newspaper article was talking about was true. Like from the attempted donation to the back and forth text during the congressional hearing, all that is true. So, like I said, like, why are you trying to defend it? But hey, it is what it is. And let's see here. No, it's not true. Okay, but oh yeah, and Bobby, yeah, what you were saying is not true. So let's see. Here was a Seton Hall University study profiling 716 January 6th defendants, found 22.2% had any prior criminal records at all, or sex crimes. So yeah, maybe that's what you're pertaining to. They found like what 22% had any prior criminal records. Maybe that's what you're referring to, but no. There's been nothing released that says 70% of the January 6ers have crimes against children. I'm not sure where you've read that piece of misinformation, but you might want to check your sources, because there's nowhere on the internet or anywhere that I can find that validates that.
I also have another angle to look at. I know of a person who is currently claiming to be Antifa, but this person also was arrested wearing MAGA gear. They said that they were MAGA, but got arrested and declined the pardon because they didn't like Trump. So, and that person, I don't believe that person was ever MAGA in the first place. And that person may have been dressing up as MAGA to cause some stuff, and may have possibly done something, but I can't say that person has, but a lot of the people that person is defended has.
All right.
And those other people can actually be found on the registry.
Well, shout out Maine. Shout out to my man Maine. But
so there might be.
Well, no, trust me. While you was talking, I was looking deeper into it. I was putting Perplexity and Chat GPT on it, and I'm getting the same results. No, that's a lie. He's like, not even an exaggeration. It's a flat out lie. And that's what Chat GPT's saying. So yeah, sorry guys. Sorry, my man. I cannot find nowhere where 70% of the January 6th rioters were child predators. And whoever told you that lied to you. But like I said, there was a study, and it was a Seton University. About 1/5 had any prior criminal records at all, and that includes everything from DUIs, fights, whatever. And it wasn't even 70%. It's about 1/5. So I'm not sure where you got 70% from. And shout out to my man Hellbat. He says, big issue. Epstein equals sex trafficker. Yeah, I mean, that's the main problem too. I mean, you're basically texting a human trafficker that traffics little girls. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, that's a really good reason to put somebody under investigation or to censor them off the intelligence committee. Why? Because you were talking to a possible intelligence asset during a congressional hearing. Like, what the F are you doing?
Person.
But hey, she's a Dem, so it's all good though.
Any due process at all? Is that what it's come to at this point? I mean, all we're asking for in the Epstein files is release the materials so we can check it out. They want to go ahead and censure and remove from a committee a distinguished member of the House of Representatives with no due process at all. I reject this. I hope the whole body.
Oops, say that again.
These chomos just want to watch the naked kids.
Man, bro, I ain't gonna lie. The way this man is arguing is that, look, I'm not gonna say he's suspicious or anything. I think he's just, bro, he's too for the party at this point. He should be able to sit there and be like, sweetheart, you were texting Jeffrey Epstein. There's nothing I can do to defend you. Like, honestly, if a Republican was doing that, I'd throw my hands up and be like, there's nothing I can do to defend you. Like, nothing. Like what you did with this man, with your position in the government and the committees that you're on, I'm sorry, but there's just no excuse for you to be texting Epstein. Like, there's nothing you could say.
Yeah. So like the Charlie Kirk film was on the internet. I still haven't seen it because I don't want to. I don't need that stuff in my head. I mean, I'm definitely not going to look at the Epstein films if they came out.
I mean, Lincoln, like, bro, it's the circumstantial of it. Like, anyone who had communication with Epstein after his first arrest, like,